Okay, well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Capital Arts Centre and welcome to the launch of the Raconteur America. It's the 6th edition of the Raconteur, but it's the first in a new paperback book format, and it's the first edition in our new collaboration with Parthian Books. It's a very exciting development, we think, in the world of Welsh literature, but also in the world of world literature. Great sentence there to start the evening. I'm honoured to have worked over the last kind of nearly a year, I suppose, building up to tonight with Gary Raymond, who many people think is a figment of my imagination. First time a lot of people have met him tonight. He's not my alter ego, he's a real person with his own views, which you'll hear a lot of later, I'm sure. And also with Susie Wilde, who's come on board with this particular edition as our associate editor. And also it's given me great pleasure to work with Richard Davis from Parthian and to have his strong backing to kind of get this baby off the ground, as it were. So I'm not going to talk too much at the beginning. Susie is going to host the first half, which is going to be a series of readings from the magazine. From some of our esteemed contributors from both sides of the Atlantic. And then in the second half, I'll be hosting a panel event, which is why the chairs are set out in this way, with some more of our esteemed contributors and also with my co-editor, Mr. Raymond. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Miss Susie Wilde.
Here. We had a little Swansea launch last week, and we've got a couple of the readers from there tonight. But we're going to kick off, it seems appropriate, with our Cardiff-based, well, a chapter throwing the stone away you could get to his house probably, American Dave Oprava.
Thanks, Susie, and thanks, Dylan. My name's Dave, and I'm an American. That's the Alcoholics Anonymous approach. About 5 months ago, I got a message from Gary asking me to write a piece about what it's like to be an American living in Wales. And I threw something off, but I hold by it, which is nice. And so I'll read it straight out, because I think it sums up the way I feel about America. And it's called, I Am Not and Always Will Be an American. I am not and always will be an American. My twang doesn't bend or blend in well with my surroundings. I stand on buildings rather than in them. But America is an anomaly to me. Something unhealthy and unnatural that has consumed a continent aiming for a world. I chose to ride away from the sunset to wallow on an island with no dawn. Things I miss. Decent, kosher hot dogs. Truly open space. Candor. Waitresses who touch your shoulder every time they pass. The anonymity of being a thing with room to breathe. Things I hate. Narrow-minded bigotry, self-fulfilling prophecies, Pax Americana, and Twinkies. That's a lie. I love Twinkies. I wrote a book once that 10 people read called American Means, and it meant that my country is mean, uses means to get what it demands and is demanding. It was 96 pages long and was one poem. It had all I had to say about America in it, and then I was tired. I looked like a drying rack, naked, after that, so I shut up my shop and I called it a mouth and kept a small acetylene flame alight somewhere in my underwear drawer for the day I might return. I call it memory. Don't get me wrong. I still believe. I believe in the idea of America more than ever. It's just the reality that gets me. Don't think anywhere is better. I've been. It's not. It's not the country that's wrong, or the history, or the language, or Walmart, or tourists, or guns, or white socks with sandals. It's humans. we have issues. Like weeds, we pop up all over the place in different shapes and sizes, and a Welsh weed is a weed, as an Arkansan weed is still a weed. And lots of people smoke them and drink them and make stuff from them. And we are all as peculiar as drunk porcupine on mescaline. And that is kind of beautiful. Hell, it doesn't matter. I mean, nationality is a lost cause. Because when the aliens land and we all get to be human again, well, again, as if that were ever true. When people ask me where I'm from, I state the obvious, unless you think I'm Canadian, and then we have problems. I just am as is and gave up on pride a long time ago, when there was more to be ashamed of than gloat over. Well, just call me human, and forget we won a few wars. Our beer has gotten better, and we still make the best hot dogs. It's not a pissing contest. Go to Disneyland and tell me about how great Florida and New York are. I'll smile as I point out that everything in Florida is trying to kill you. From the fire ants to the mosquitoes, the Category 5 hurricanes to the razor grass to the alligators to the goddamned heat. Hell, I should know I live there. But I'll tell you these things in my mind and keep smiling because you had a good time. By the way, I like your sunburn. See, it doesn't matter. And as to matter, let's look at our molecules. Are mine red, white, and blue? Perhaps yours are too. In a parallel universe, we are all gods, maybe just not the same one. See, now you can avoid me on the street, and that is fine with me. I won't open my mouth, and you will never know that I am American. I often forget I am. My kids can't tell the difference. I'm just dad. The only thing that matters. Thank God or whomever.
Okay, next up, last act before the interval, but certainly not least, we have beautiful Rhian Edwards. Now, Rhian, for those of you who don't know, had lots of good news last week. I think the most important is that she won the John Tripp final and also the Audience Award, but also she got engaged to an American. Rhian Edwards.
Right. When I first started reading poems, I was very self-conscious of my Welsh accent, I think. So I mimicked other people. And one of the people I mimicked was my favourite poet, the New York poet Dorothy Parker. So this is a poem I've written in her voice. I'll hold the glass because she's an alcoholic as well. It's kind of apt. And this is a poem I've written in her voice, and it's called Punched Discourse. And it goes like this. Tonight my rhetoric is running on empty. Well, to be perfectly honest, it ain't running at all. Instead, it's nursing inebriate and candid remarks, irresponsibly imparted the night before. Tonight I'm all out of my idiolect and my signature wit, yet you still hang on my every like chimps on a twig. I mean, look at you. On the edge of your seats, metaphoric course, impatiently awaiting some sardonic retort. I mean, what is this conversation to you anyway? Repartee tennis or derisory blood sport? Feeling unindulged, now are we? Deflated by a distinct absence of eloquence. Well, I bid you adieu, my insignificant others, because I've done my hard time. I've completed my sentence.